just for the record, these are not added sound effects. These really are the raw sounds of the property captured by my phone's microphone during the recording. Now, I've never stayed at a property more mesmerizing yet simultaneously underwhelming as this one. And to address the title, yes, in my opinion, this is the best Four Seasons property in the world, or at least it's up there, but there is a catch. At least in my opinion, this property only caters to a specific type of vacation, and I'll address that a little bit further into the video to hopefully help you decide whether you want to stay here or not. And if you're wondering, yes, I'm using the AI voice enhancer in Premiere Pro. It just makes my voice sound a little bit more crisp, and I think the pros outweigh the cons about 100 million to 1, and that's why my voice might sound slightly robotic, but I think it's worth it, so that's why I'm using it. Now, first, the mesmerizing part. I don't think I need to explain much here. This footage right here is the bridge that connects the main drop-off area to the lobby, and I think it speaks for itself. But not only that, the architecture and the engineering behind the entire property is insane, and you'll get to see all that later into the video, and you'll know what I mean. And by the way, I just want to quickly point out the entrance, and I'll put up a picture of the Google Street View here. I just thought it's hilarious how tiny and unsuspecting this entrance is, because to anyone who doesn't know about this place, they'll just look at this insanely tiny entrance and go, oh, that's probably a cute little hotel, but just behind that entrance is this behemoth of a highly developed resort in this valley that's hosted both Obama and PewDiePie. And I'm leaning toward PewDiePie being the more important person here. And he stayed here during his honeymoon, and you can pretty easily find the video by just looking it up. But I gotta say, PewDiePie's got pretty good taste. Just to the right here is Jet Tea Bar. It's located to the right in the lobby. I didn't really use it for much except afternoon tea, which if you're here, I'd highly recommend it. They didn't have much of a tea selection, but the food that came with it was absolutely fantastic. This is also probably a good time to mention that this place has a lot of stairs, a lot of hills, a lot of sketchy walking paths and steps, and there's also no elevators, so if you have any severe mobility issues, you might want to steer away from this place. But if you're okay for the most part, you can always just call a buggy anytime, and they offer a 24/7 buggy service, so you're in pretty good hands for the most part. And again, if you really do struggle with walking, I'd suggest booking a room in the main building instead of a villa. You can also probably tell from this footage how amazed I am at the architecture and engineering of this place. They built this place into the hillside of a valley in 1998. I don't even know how they do that under the natural conditions of this place. Now this is the main pool by the river. It's a 2-level pool, and it's connected to the Riverside restaurant. This place was completely empty, and that's a specialty of this resort, which is that it feels empty all the time. It always feels like it's just you, except in the restaurants during peak hours, of course. And when we checked in, the manager actually told us that they were at full occupancy, so having the main pool area be this empty is pretty amazing to see. Now this is the Riverside restaurant. Yeah, that's actually the name, Riverside. Kind of like the University of California Riverside. This was, in my opinion, the hotel's best restaurant and their only other restaurant. And if you're here, I'd suggest going for the mahi mahi and the linguine. I know the picture here that just passed was a penne, but ignore that. It's because I forgot to get a picture of the linguine. And I know that footage went by pretty fast because I ran out of footage. So we're back here in the main lobby at night. And right below the main lobby is the hotel's main restaurant, which serves Indonesian. It's called Ayong Terrace, which honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of, but it might just be because I'm not the biggest fan of Indonesian food, so I might just be biased. And in the morning, Ayong Terrace just transforms into their main breakfast and only breakfast restaurant, which serves unlimited a la carte. So it's just, imagine a normal buffet, except you order off a menu instead. And honestly, the breakfast options were really good. I liked their breakfast. And there was also a small buffet off to the side, which, okay, see, now it's showing. Now that's what I'm talking about. But I'm guessing they put the main stuff on the a la carte menu just so the mosquitoes don't get to them. It also rains a lot here, and when it rains, but just so you're aware, in tropical island regions like Bali or the Maldives, the weather tends to be very erratic. So even if the weather app's projecting 100% precipitation, full lightning, thunder, everything for the entire week, odds are you're probably just going to get super heavy occasional bursts of rain at night and in the morning, but you'll probably be okay for the most part in the afternoon. So just don't panic, your vacation likely isn't ruined. And apparently we've already moved on to the next clip. So this is the fitness center. The fitness center is pretty much as good as it gets. It's on the floor below the Ayong Terrace restaurant. So technically it's open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. or 6 o'clock to 21 o'clock, but you can actually request to go in after hours and they'll let you anyway, which is pretty cool because in most hotels, the fitness equipment itself is 24/7, but they'll stop you from using any of the cool stuff like the plunge pools and the saunas and whatever. But here, if you request for it, you actually can use all of that. So for example, I used the sauna at 11 p.m. or 23 o'clock, which they were completely fine with. And speaking of which, the stuff you're looking at right now are the plunge pools. You get a normal temperatured one, you get a cold one, and you get a hot one. And that's why there's 3 of them. They're located in the pretty much to the front side of the main building, and it has a view of the river and the Riverside restaurant and the main pool, if you can see. Like we moved past it, but you could kind of see it on the right side. This is the locker room. You can see the lockers right here. To the left are the sinks, and to the right of this are the bathrooms and the shower seat. You can see the showers are here. It's not a great view. It's kind of hard to capture all of it on camera. But to the right of this, you get one of them is a sauna, and the other is a steam room, and they give you options for which one you want to go into. And by the way, I love how they left the water just there, ready to grab at any time. It was incredibly convenient. So that part was huge. Just having water right there, available to grab as soon as you walk out, fantastic. Now, if you can hear that high-pitched sound, in this footage. I think that might be an animal. I'm honestly not sure what that is, but I guess that's just what you have to deal with staying in the middle of a jungle. So this is the room. It's actually two villas in one. This is villa number 26 and that is villa number 27 because we booked two separate rooms. So what they did was they just hooked us up with this side-by-side villa where there's a connecting door. But if we walk over here, this is the entrance, and you get this whole thing that overlooks everything. It's this. Are there koi in here? I don't know. I don't think so. No, I don't think there's any koi in here. But it's this huge pond thing that you can just relax on. I've seen a lot of people walk on the edge like that for Instagram. I think it's stupid. It's about a 20, 30 foot fall. And then if we walk down the staircase, I'm gonna try not to trip as I'm holding this camera. You're met with this little water feature down here. So this is what it looks like up there. And then you walk down here into this little area. And that is how you get into the main room area. This is what that looks like. And by the way, as a quick side note, they don't use key cards. They actually use just traditional keys. And that's what these are. They use keys and they give you one of them, but you can request for more. Which is interesting. I thought they would modernize, but I guess maybe they want to keep it traditional. So this is what the main patio area looks like. And I think we should probably look outside first because it's just easier for me because I'm already out here. You get this little grassy jungle area to yourself. Everything's enclosed by trees and brush. So it's completely private. You get your own infinity pool, pretty decently sized, 1.56 meters, it says right there. You get your cabana? Daybed? I don't know. And then just to the entrance, this side, you get a little couch too. And over here is actually the mini bar. I'm not gonna look through it though. It's just your standard stuff, some snacks, some ice. Everything costs money except for the ice. Now these snacks, I believe, are actually complimentary, but they're an exception. And over here are the connecting doors. This connects to villa number 26. That can be open, but we're not gonna do that right now. Now this is the room itself. You get your main bed over here, and that's just a rollaway bed that they provided. I believe it is complimentary, unlike some hotels. You come over here, and this is, I'm not sure if this is dependent on how you book the room, but what they did was they gave us this drink, and this is some type of champagne. This is whatever that is. Oh, I gotta get it back into ice. I've learned that champagne gets really bad when it's not completely frozen, pretty much, so we're gonna try to shove that back in as well as we can. And of course, when you look this way, you get a nice view of your patio pool area. And these close, you can fold these up, essentially pull them in, and they close. And they've also done this, which is just such a nice gesture. And this is your fruits, your fruit baskets. I don't know why we moved this over here. But overall, it's a very spacious bedroom area. Your desk and everything. And then when you walk in here, this is your main bathroom area, which is honestly pretty much as big as the bedroom. Double vanity, floating bathtub. This is your shower area, and this is the closet space. If you make this way, come over this way, you get this cool little wooden bathroom. So it's a little space on its own. And then if we walk over here, actually, I believe these are matches. That was kind of cool when I saw it. I didn't realize you could actually burn stuff in here, because I guess maybe it's not illegal to do that in Bali. But come over out here, and you get an outdoor shower with that very cool shower head built into the wall. And this also connects back to the main pool area. This is a door to the pool area that you can open. Well, we're not gonna do that right now. And there's these art things in the walls too, right next to the beds. Also, I forgot to go over these. This is, I think, some coconut sugar, kelapan, I can't pronounce that correctly. Kelapan, some traditional treat, and I think that is just popcorn. So, needless to say, this is quite some room. Another thing that's pretty hilarious to me is how many building codes this property would probably break in the US or any other Western country, but I like it. The super unique architecture they were able to incorporate without all of the red tape is really incredible to see. You know, just use common sense, don't walk off a ledge, don't be the idiots walking on the ledge of the roof of your villa. Now, let's get to the actual review part, the physical keys. I hate it. And I get they're trying to stay traditional, but keys are hard to carry around. They scratch your phone and everything in your pocket. It's not fun to carry. Key cards are far better in the sense, or even better, key wristbands, which is where they give you these special wristbands that act as key cards, and these are really useful in tropical places or any place where you're going to get wet. Even the Four Seasons in Oahu offers them. So this is really something I'd like to see them modernize. This is just an aspect of the resort that I don't think you need to keep this traditional. Now, about the villa itself, this is where you really have to decide for yourself. The interior of the villa is actually quite small, and it doesn't have much of an interior living space because they thought on the outside, on the patio instead, and I think the rooms in the main building actually have more total interior space just because these rooms have the living areas inside. Now, the plus side is the villas come with plunge pools and these really cool rooftop pond areas. So if you're comfortable with being outside in humid tropical Southeast Asian heat and you have plenty of mosquito repellent, but you don't mind the occasional bite and you really value plunge pools, then the villa's for you. But if you're more into lounging indoors and you're okay with going to the main pool or fitness center plunge pools, then the main building rooms are probably more for you. And of course, if you care about proximity to the main building rooms are obviously for you. The service is fantastic. It's near perfect. It's incredibly warm, super attentive. What am I saying? I can't speak English. Attentive. The staff remember your name like it's nothing. I will say that I think they're slightly understaffed just based on my experience here with some housekeeping delays and just visually seeing the lobby with the super small member of staff, and sometimes they struggle to keep up a little with requests. So I think if they up their number of staff a bit, then it'll be pretty much perfect. Now, what you're seeing here is not a restaurant. I think this is where the hotel does its cooking classes or something, honestly no clue, but I wanted to mention that the hotel provides repellent, but bring your own. Their repellent's made of this really nice smelling essential oil, but I'm not so sure about the efficacy of it. Based on my experience, it's not that great, so bring your own. Anyhow, you can actually walk a little bit forward from the cooking school area. You make a left to these really sketchy steps, and you can walk through and get over to this bridge, which I believe actually leads out of the hotel into the village of Sayan, but the gates are closed, so I don't even think you can actually get out. It gives you this really nice view of the river, because, well, it goes over the river, so of course it's going to give you a nice view. What am I saying? But it's this really nice bridge that you can walk over if you're fit enough and if you're mobile enough. This is a temple or shrine built to the right side of the hotel. I have no idea if this is an actual traditional temple built hundreds of years ago, or if the hotel just built a temple along with the hotel during its initial construction. But it looks cool. I don't know if you can actually enter the temple, but it's there. So if you want to go get pictures, I mean, I probably should have asked them if I could go in, but it's whatever. This is the spa. It's right next to the river, I think. I hope it's next to the river. I mean, it's called the Sacred River Spa for a reason, right? It looks cool. I didn't use it. I never use hotel spas, but if it looks cool, that's all that matters, right? It has to be good. This cool looking building right here is the building they use for their sacred nap activity, which is honestly one of the only activities I'd suggest booking here because it's really unique. They put you into this really cool silk hammock that almost cocoons you in a way, and then they read the story of the Buddha while you fall asleep for about an hour. Now, the rest of the activities offered here, not so great. The only somewhat fun one is river rafting, but it's outrageously overpriced, and you can do that in a lot of places. And excluding that in the sacred nap, there's not much to do here. I mean, they offer stuff like art classes and cooking classes, but why would I do art and cooking here? I can do that anywhere. And you can actually book river rafting in the area with the third party and do it for 1,000,000 times cheaper. And that's my segue back to the main point in my title. This is an outstanding resort. but it's not for everyone. This resort is really for people who purely want to relax and do nothing other than swim a little and maybe eat a little. There's not even that many dining options. There's really only 2 restaurants if you're not counting room service. And it turns out when you're in the middle of a jungle, there's just not much to do. Really, you're just vibing around waiting to get bitten by mosquitoes without much reward. So here's my recommendation. If you're a person who's insanely activity heavy, don't come here. If you're like me and you're not insanely activity heavy, but you also don't want to be not doing anything, stay here for 2 nights. 1 night is too little, 3 nights or more are too much. For the rest of the trip, I highly recommend the St. Regis, which is conveniently relatively close to the airport, but not too close for the airport to be a disturbance. If you're the type of person who really doesn't want to do anything, knock yourself out. This place is perfect for you. So that's my conclusion. This place is outstanding. It's one of the best Four Seasons properties in the world, and probably one of the best resorts in the world in general, but how good your stay here will highly depend on the type of vacation you're looking for.